Lots of thumbs up. All right, lovely. Okay, so let's start with sitting then, shall we? We'll fix this camera angle. Oh, that's better. Slightly. Okay. Hmm?
Yeah, that's it. A little piece of fluff from him.
Oh.
You get it out. Sorry, people. Gotta happen.
Okay. All right. So let's just get really comfy. If you're comfortable, you can lie down. It's totally fine. We're not gonna do any movement just yet, but we will probably do some. So whether you want to sit down or lie down for this part, it's up to you. And as almost every session starts, it's just going to be about stillness or moving towards stillness, shall we say, relative stillness. So if you want to close your eyes, you can. If you want to lower your gaze, you can. And yes, we can invite some nice, juicy, deep, nourishing breaths into the body. Just taking our time to arrive here. There's no rush. No rush. There may be mindful moments where we just notice what's appearing right now. What's apparent in the sensation or the thinking, the breathing. Taking time to just slow down, soften, quiet down. And just imagine that any momentum that appears to have built up in the body is just allowed to slow down. Any unnecessary or excess stress in the system. Just invited to relax, not trying to get rid of anything, but there's just an open, gentle invitation to relax. Nothing is pushed away, nothing is pushed down, nothing is seen as an obstacle. It's just the appearance, or whatever appears to be appearing, and in the simplicity of sitting relatively still and relatively quietly, there may just seem to be a relaxation, opening up. That's right. No rush. Whatever is coming up is fully embraced as it is. Any thoughts or feelings, emotional tone, sensational tone. It's open. So, like me, you might find yourself sighing or yawning or blowing air out through pursed lips. This is all lovely. And it happens by itself, of course. I mean, when we start to sigh or yawn, it's often the case that the body is it's just intuitively finding its way of expressing how it feels. So when we sigh, when we blow air out through pursed lips, this isn't actually a forced thing. It's natural expression of cleansing out, of releasing, moving gently. You imagine two scales moving from social engagement or even fight or flight to rest and digest. Those scales are just very gently moving from one to the other. You might find that little movements take place in the body. This is totally fine. It's not going to hinder anything. As we are all sitting, you might want to move around, but you might want to stay still. So it's just these options. The body doesn't have to be a certain way right now. I might start to feel the sensation more fully in the sit bones. And if you're cross-legged or however you're positioned, just feel the feet or the ankles, whatever it is that's being held by the ground beneath it. That surface. Imagine that surface is your mother holding you. Absolute fullness. You could even imagine if it's so trustworthy, the ground. It's really strong in its ability to hold the body. A connection between body and earth. Apparent connection. In all of energy or excess sensationality, you could imagine it just migrates back down to the earth from which it came. The density in the sit bone is really held. You might find some enjoyment in the simplicity of sitting there and not doing anything at all. And just a brief body scan before we start to move around. Maybe we can just begin to feel into the forehead. So it's just a gentle invitation again for any excess holding to release from the forehead. When the body is holding unnecessary amounts of stress and tension, it might be unnecessarily clenching in places that it didn't previously realize. So the invitation is to relax the forehead. And then it might traverse out to the temples, the eyes as well. And all of those micro muscles around the eyes and behind the eyes. The cheeks and the cheekbones. The hinges of the jaw. Imagine the breath could soothe and soften all of the muscles and little bones involved in the mandible, the jawbone. hinges of the jaw relaxing. Imagine that that breath could gently travel with ease down the neck, all dimensions, the front, the sides, and the back. At any point, if you want to sigh, go for it. It'll find its way when it wants to express itself. Neck, relaxing, releasing, and out. Shoulders, relaxing. Arms, relaxing. Torso, relaxing. The chest and the back. Ribcage, belly, tailbone, round the pelvis, hip joints, legs, and feet. So, nothing special is taking place here, and yet, in the simplicity, the body may feel noticeably different already. Just from sitting still and listening to his voice and the invitations of the body to soften. Okay, so maybe if you like, you just start to reintroduce small movements into wherever the body wants to be. You're just going to open this up fluidly. You might start with the extremities, the hands and the feet, the arms and the legs, or you might start with the spinal cord. Or wherever you are, whatever's going on, just invitation to find movement where it's wanted. Eyes are closed still, or if you want, you can open up the visual cortex again. So, whether it's just nice movements of the neck or the spine, it's just ease, fluidly, intuitively finding where it wants to go. All right. So remember, for the rest of the session, everything is an invitation, nothing is an instruction. Although it might sound like instruction on points, it really is open the way in which the body wants to respond. Every response is organic and legitimate. So where I seem to be going with this is Sufi circles. If you're up for that, you can rest your hands on the knees and just start to make lovely, gentle circles with the spine. And really, it doesn't have to be large at all. It could be extremely small, so small, not even noticeable. This is a really nice movement Just getting some fluidity into every single vertebra. And you might find that it slows down or it speeds up. You might find you lean more into it. Oh. And here, you can just really see if the breath hasn't yet synced up with the movement. We're doing these restorative exercises and stretches and activations together. You probably find that breath is really in sync with the movement, like instruments playing together in harmony. Beautiful symphony of breath, body, and mind and heart. So just carry on with the way you're going with it. It's beautiful as it is. If you haven't already employed the full Sufi circle technique and you want to, as you come down, the chest opens up a little bit. So we actually extend through the chin. And as you come back, round through the spine, chin tucks under, and so does the tailbone. If you really want to extend fully, don't have to. And the elbows can also do their little dance. So when you come forwards, you can, if you wish, extend the elbows out, sort of taking up space. And you can kind of retreat them back in as you come back. It's just nice fluid movements opening up into different parts of the body, all really wholesome. Mm. It's quite nice to flex and extend into the hips as well. It's really nourishing on so many levels. All right, if you haven't already, you might like to start thinking about switching directions. Hmm. It's fun to play with the breath. You can sigh, you can yawn, you can blow, you can even hum if you wish. It's just so delicious when the body says yes to this. It's like, yes, actually, this is what I want. You might hear a gentle thank you opening up for the body giving itself this gorgeous time to itself. All right, so we're going to work towards coming into a nice forward fold if that feels yummy for you. Demonstrate. So we'll just work towards a forward fold. Now here, really, just really listen to the body, like the body is listening to itself. So you can just like gently come to the hands, or you can come down to the forearms, or you may even find yourself wanting to go all the way and placing your head on the ground or on the hands. That's quite a nice variation. If this doesn't feel nice when in a cross-legged position, you can of course come into Balasana, child's pose, which is one of, I would suggest, one of the most delicious yoga poses of all. It's my favourite, anyway. So you can do a child's pose or cross-legged pose. Oh, it's the ultimate yin posture. So gorgeous. And of course, child's pose itself has several variations. You can have the arms out in front. You can rest the forehead on the hands. You can have the knees wide or together. You can even place the arms behind that. There are lots of options. Wherever you are, enjoy. And you can imagine the breath now is really alive in the back of the body. If you are into stories, you might like to know that this posture is particularly good for inviting the chakras to open up on the back of the body. We often think about postures opening chakras in the front side, but this is a back opening posture on a physiological level as well as an energetic level. You know, the erectors lengthening either side of the spine. And when you're ready, I want you to take your time here. You can be as slow as you wish. We're going to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae from the base of the spine all the way up into the crown of the head, like a beautiful flower blooming from the earth, extending all the way up to face the sun. The vertebrae by vertebrae, extremely thin. Chin is tucked into chest there, all the way up. All the way. Great. Take your time, that's it. Nice. And then as you extend, you may have already guessed it, we're going to go into the wave. I did this one last week, some of you might remember. That's why we extend up. And the chin is extended, maybe even looking up slightly. And waving through the spine. So, that is nice weaving motion. We are flexing, extending. Ah, wow. So, if you want to sync the breath up again, it's an inhale up and an exhale down. Very beautiful activation through the whole torso, really nourishing for the erectors on the back of the body, spinal cord, in the center, the abdominals, the pectoralis minor and major on the front side. Okay. Could you even imagine giving this exercise? You could imagine giving a really nourishing massage to the digestive system or the internal organs. I love that everyone is going at their own pace. That's really beautiful. It's just this intuitive sense how the body wants to move. Again, you could be very small or quite big. It doesn't have to follow a strict pattern. Depending on if we're cross-legged or kneeling, you may place your hands on the lap, the knees, or even on the ground. You might find that the breath could help ease and soften the shoulders here as well. Very nice. All right, so you might find that this movement starts to spin itself down a bit, and you might also find it isolates it a bit more into the spinal joints. Meaning it just becomes a little bit more subtle in its movement. Working its way to natural stillness again. All right, so once we're there, we can just notice how the body feels. Maybe we can work our way into the spinal twist. There's loads of different options for spinal twists, by the way. So if you're familiar with them, you can take your own variation. You can do it from kneeling or cross-legged. Or if you wanted something a little bit more creative, you could do this version where the foot comes in front of the knee. It's an option, no one needs to do it, and you hug your opposite. It's a bit funny, but if your right knee is up, then it's your left hand, your left arm hooking, okay? And then you look behind that the same shoulder of the knee that's coming up. So that's just one option. And there's obviously cross-legged, and the hand rests on the knee, or the knee in version. Just take some deep breaths there, looking right over that shoulder. Lengthen spine, gentle twist. Breathe in now. So, as the name suggests, it's for the spine, being a twist, a spinal twist. But it's also really good for the shoulders. If you are doing this version with a knee up, you can allow the arm to rest against the back, parallel, horizontal, sorry, or you can place the hand on the floor. I think this version, if I remember rightly, is called Ardha Matsyasana, half Lord of the Fish's pose. Not all names, it's quite random. Apparently, there's a lovely lengthy story about it, which I can't quite remember. All right, if you haven't already, you can start to transition from one side to the other. Again, take your time. Nice shot. So, if you want to go on both sides again, you're most welcome. Alternatively, just find out the back to the center. Take your time wherever you are. Enjoy. Imagine each in breath and exhale is soothing every single disc, every single section of the spine. Breathing out stress and tension in the central nervous system, like a wet cloth. Okay. We're going to come back to the center and let's do a lateral, shall we? We're going to do a lateral stretch. Not too high. Okay. So let's go like a pendulum, shall we? We're going to go from one side to the other. I want you to do your right side first, okay? So when we come over to one side, we're going to do your right side first. This is just for the sake of the digestive system. So you're going to go over to your right, and you can hang it there, or as I tend to prefer, it's nice to go from one side to the other. A bit like a pendulum swinging from one side to the other. But if that doesn't resonate for you, you can just hang it on one side and breathe a few breaths on each side before transitioning. Wherever you are, just enjoying, again, just enjoying the fluid movements. Ideally, both hips are equally planted on the earth when you fully extend into one side. So if your hip is coming off of the ground, the chances are that you've come too far. Also, it's a good idea to prevent this from happening. The ear going too far down and bending the neck. We don't really want to bend the neck. It's about moving from here rather than try and keep the spine relatively in alignment as you come over from one side to the other. Very nice. So if you like, I like to do this a lot, you might have noticed. When you breathe, if you want to sink the breath, you can breathe in, coming up, exhale, going into the other side. That audible exhale is, I can't describe in words how nourishing it is when you really get into those lovely expressive exhalations. It's so, so delicious. Oh. Ah. Ah. That's it. Yeah, there you go. All right. Whenever you're ready, you may want to do another 2 or 3. Go for it if that's the case. But whenever you're ready, I'm just going to come back to start this up. All right. So I think I'd like to give one more invitation and then we'll have a longer, maybe a longer than usual relaxation. Now you can skip this and go straight to lying down if it doesn't serve you, okay? So this might not serve everybody. Um, but if you fancy it, I'm going to invite us to do some rocking and rolling, gentle rocking and rolling. So I'm not sure if anyone's done this before. I think you probably all have actually. I get the sense everyone's quite familiar with yoga here. So what's going to happen here is maybe we can just bring our knees together to begin with, and we can give ourselves a really lovely hug before we do this. So if that feels all right, we're going to just bring the knees together, give ourselves a lovely, lovely maternal caress. Knees together, elbows hugging them in. Maybe the head comes down to the knees. Don't force it. Lovely long extension through the back of the neck as well as the spine. Now here, just notice tendency for the shoulders to tense up. So if they do, you might want to bring the arms just a little bit further down to the shins. If the knees aren't together, don't worry about it. Lovely extension on the back of the body. And then either going into lying down pose, or if you want to play, we're going to rock and roll. So we're going to take our hands underneath the knees. Make sure you've got enough space behind you.
This is not a pot you're going to crash into.
Yes, exactly. Okay, hands underneath, and then we bring back and forward. We. Oh, that feels so good. Honestly, I absolutely love this. We're going to come back, and you're just really massaging all of those muscles and the bones on the back. Oh, really. Really breathe, keep going. You do it as many times as you want. Oh. So we are allowing the earth to soothe and massage those muscles on the back of the body. When you come up, you might find that the knees go a bit wider apart just to give space for the tummy and the hips. Breathe.
Ooh.
And so whenever you're ready, you can just come to lying down. But if you're enjoying yourself and lying, you may do it a few more times. If you're quite used to what we're doing here, you might like to go straight into plow pose, which is where the big toes are touching the ground beneath the head. This is not a requirement, obviously, but if you want to, you can just rest in that plow pose, sorry, because that can be quite nice. Then maybe you come out, and this time maybe we stay down. You can go into happy baby, or knees into chest. Or maybe you're just really ready for that part where we just lie flat as a pancake on the ground. Yeah. So any final stretches you want to give yourself here? Go for it. We're going to lie down when we're ready, but do take your time. If there's any stretches, yeah, I love it. Happy baby is gorgeous. Gorgeous. We'll just find ourselves seamlessly moving into that, arguably the most delicious part of all, Shavasana, where nothing is required. Mm.
Mm. Wish.
So take your time, everyone. Once again, coming into that yin phase. I mean, it was all quite yin, really, let's be honest about it, but this is about as yin as it gets, where we really relax completely. So, just making any adjustments necessary. Any adjustments necessary so the body can really find itself as comfortable as possible. Now, as you may know, Shavasana usually translates to corpse pose. And the reason this is because the body is naturally and gently working its way to being as still as a corpse. We can call it resting pose as well if you prefer. The body is getting into that rest and digest mode with each and every exhale. You might find that you've adopted the traditional Shavasana where the legs are almost, the heels are almost as wide as the yoga mat. Head is resting nicely and comfortably on a cushion or a mat. And you may have the hands on the belly, on the chest, or by the sides of the body. Total ease. Mm. And perhaps you could imagine that the breath is leading this relaxation. With each inhale and exhale, the body just effortlessly relaxes more and more. Effortless. Effortless ease. Wu Wei. Already apparent to itself in every cell of the body. Cell of the body. Ease. 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 And before we start to think about moving around again, there might just be another loving little thank you that opens itself up in the body, for the body, with the body, by the body, thanking itself for taking this time to nourish itself. Very innocent, loving gratitude for showing up and taking care of it. Start to move from that place of fullness and love and gratitude. We start to find itself stretching a little bit, breathing a little bit deeper. Might roll over to one side or curl up into a ball. And then the body is ready. Not a moment before. Just going to work this way perhaps back up into a seated position. You might have another one of those juicy, nourishing sighs or yawns. So, thank you so much for joining this session with me. Thank you for taking the time for yourself and enjoying. And it's such a delight for this to express itself and share itself like this. And if you enjoy these sessions, you can always subscribe to the No Show Yochini YouTube channel and yeah, enjoy more of the content there. And anyone watching subsequently on YouTube, do check out the sessions that happen each week. And thanks so much for engaging here on this lovely spaceless space. Much love. Om Shanti. Namaste.